do that. First off, let's go with Dan Hardy versus Duane Ludwig.
Yes.
Outlaw
Army. And Hardy is back.
Hardy's back, and it looks like he can work on some ground. He even shot for a double.
Yes.
Ben Ludwig was lighting him up for a while, and once he clipped him with a left hook and dropped him, he even did a little celebration. And then realized, shit, he's knocked out. So normally Hardy he was comfortable enough to hop into to side control and finish him off from there with some elbows. And they were elbows. He cracked his skull open. I will post a picture. I can post links to video. I'll find it. I'll definitely post a link.
You can see the skull's cracked.
You can literally see right through his skull. I mean, I have no idea how they've asked me that fucking
I have no idea either.
They must use a shit ton of it.
But he's back, and I am glad.
Yeah, he's back and better than ever.
Yes.
I'd like to see him make another run for the title.
Did he realize MMA is...
Yeah, he's got to be mixed martial arts, right? It's not just a slugfest. He was impressive for a while. I mean, he went out there. He can throw hands.
His fight with GSP that we went to.
Submission defense was incredible.
Submission defense was like something I've never seen before.
But GSP definitely won that. I'd like to see a rematch after Hardy gets 3-4 fights. If he can get a streak going and maybe pull off even a submission, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Second fight we had was Mayhem Miller disappointing. And we got CB Galloway. CB Galloway is 0-2 in the last 18 months.
Right.
And we just watched a training video on him, and we watched him train the chokes that he ever
Yes, this training video, he looked great. His combination boxing was great.
Jake Ellenberger was there. Mark Munoz was there. The rain training stuff.
Yeah, and he just completely he was gassed out.
Oh, he came out like a rabbit.
He did.
He bounced backwards and then dropped to the choke. CB Galloway escaped the choke, and it looked like right after that, and that was about the 30 seconds in, it looked like Mayhem was going to pull it off with submission. It seemed like after CB pulls his head out, and Miller just gave up after that.
It seems like he let go of many opportunities.
There was 5 to 7 chokes, and I mean, his boxing is so sloppy and horrible.
His boxing is, I don't even know what that is.
Dana White said that was literally the worst boxing that he had ever seen in the octagon, and it looked like his first fight, and he wasn't even supposed to get a second fight. He begged. He does this jogging thing.
Which he always has done, but it's 20%.
But it was way more together when he fought Soccer. Like, we just watched the Soccer fight.
Take me, and I was like, I want to see Mayhem Miller, and he has, 40 fights? A lot of fights.
We came in with 34 and 8 today.
Okay, so how do you have that many fights and stuff that bad?
Yeah,
so I had to see.
Well, when he fought Sakuraba, I mean, it was the first minute was good crisp stand-up. He got his leg attack. Sakuraba drops for a leg lock. He defends very well. Puts the pressure on, wrist control, great choke. Pinpoint picked all the shots.
His shots are perfect. Yeah.
And
he had time to.
Stopped and threw this up and continued the beating.
Yes.
So he was so relaxed and calm and confident he could stop for a photo op and then continue the beating. Yes. We're talking about world famous Sakuraba.
Yeah, Sakuraba. Yeah.
And this isn't the Sakuraba today. This was a couple of years ago when Sakuraba still had some credibility.
In the last 2 years, he's won 10 fights. So how?
Miller, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Miller. He's the bully beatdown guy.
He's a team personality now.
Hopefully, I can't see Dana White keeping it, and I don't want to see Miller fight again. I don't want to see anybody fight like that. I don't think if you're going to fight like that, you're obviously not ready for that caliber.
Yeah, right.
The UFC is the elite of the elite, and I'm sorry, Mayhem fans. Look, I'm one of them.
Yeah, I like Guido.
But he's not. He's no longer one of the elite. At one point, he almost tapped Jake Shields. One more second, Jake Shields would have been asleep, and he would be the former middleweight Strikeforce middleweight champion. But Shields was saved by the bell and won a razor thin split decision. We're talking about Jake Shields here. I mean, he came to UFC, fought Mark Campman, won a split decision, goes on to give GSP a hell of a fight. And Mayhem almost tapped it. And they won all 5 rounds, and he won a narrow split. He lost a narrow split decision to Jake Shields. So odd. Okay, next fight. I'm going to take this one because one of the guys that in the fight world that when I first got on Twitter actually tweeted me back is Jamie Varner is back. Jamie Varner, they didn't give him a gift wrap either. They gave him a young kid, a great up and comer in Edson Barboza. But Jamie Varner was all too much for him. Knocked him out. Another first round knockout. Tons of finishes on the card. Tons of finishes. Yes. Except for Mayhem. Mayhem won all 3 rounds. CB Dalloway, even at one point, just to add on to that, actually had Mayhem Miller, who's highly touted. I think
on his stomach.
A black belt under Robert Drysdale, high level black belt. Flattened out, back mount on. It was at least 7 to 10, maybe 12 unanswered blows from Mayhem. In the 3rd round, he was just so tired he couldn't do anything. So it was ridiculous. Stepping through the skyscraper. 7 feet tall, LeVar Johnson. I think LeVar Johnson is nothing more to me. I just don't like it. I don't like LeVar Johnson. It's not because he beat up my Black Bear. It's not because he beat up my Black Bear. It's not.
He's just not UFC material.
No, I think he's a power puncher, and that's about it. The second that Drew pulls down on him and rips an armbar and breaks his arm, the guy taps, and because he was in pain.
Right.
He was in pain. Right. Yeah, this all happened in 60 seconds. Right. The second, he got a small taste of the ground, and his arm's broken. I don't see him going far. He was on the street there for a minute, a little hot streak. But, he got someone with a name, and he got a broken arm to go along with it. Next fight was Roy Nelson and Dave Herman. Herman comes out with some push kicks, but of course, I didn't see the point in this fight even happening. I knew this was going to happen. Roy Nelson just threw a bomb and knocked him the fuck out. 1 punch knockout, flash knockout. Roy Nelson. Next fight, I'm still happy to announce that Cain Velasquez is back, and that was the bloodiest battle.
Yes,
At one point, you could see Bigfoot Silva on the ground and Cain pounding him, and him shaking his head, trying to get the blood out of his eyes. And the doctors came in. Yeah, the doctors came in, and they didn't stop the fight. So I said, well, the blood must not be that bad, must not be affecting his vision.
On the ground.
And then Herb Dean, and he's been doing this a lot. Started back on the ground. He's my favorite. Starts it back on the ground, so Cain just keeps pounding away. And it's
all you see is this face full of blood and shaking it off.
It was all over the mat. It was all over him. And that's the second time. He did the same thing to Brock Lesnar. That's the second time that he's disposed of in bloody, brutal fashion someone twice his size. Cain Velasquez is talented. I would like to see JDS Cain.
Yes.
I really would. In the main event, I really, really, really wanted Frank Mir to pull us out. He came in a 5-1 underdog in replacement for Alistair Overeem, who tested 14-1 for testosterone, which is freakish and dangerous, both to his health and his opponent. That's subhuman. So he takes his place. Bloodstained Lane made it kind of like it's going to be a hug fest. Frank Mir shot him one time, held on to a single for as long as he could. Didn't get him, so he tries with leg kicks, but every time he threw a leg kick, he would eat 1 or 2 punches. Finally, at the end of round 1, JDS tees off. I think one more punch would have got through. It would have been a brutal knockout. Saved by the bell. And you'd think that in the middle of the round, in between rounds, they would make some changes. Shoot in, broke. And he comes out and does the same thing, leg kicks, and it actually was so bad. He got knocked down, and then he shot in on JDS, or what he thought was JDS, but I think it was his shadow. He shot the wrong direction, and JDS comes over and just pounds him in the head, and her name had seen enough. So it just seems.
It was just sad that
you could see his hands dropping and his confidence wilting pretty much as the minutes went by.
On what his plan was, a takedown, instead of paying attention to what was going on.
So Santos did say he quits under pressure.
He does.
And he does. I'm going to say that because when we went to see UFC, whatever it was, when he fought Carwin, he started getting hit and he just dropped to the ground behind a cradle. And I mean, you know, listen, Junior Dos Santos can't be good to feel in your face. But I mean, every time he would even throw a feint, Frank Mir would kind of flinch. So all the credit in the world with Frank Mir. Even though people booed him so bad, I couldn't even hear what he's saying.
Come on now with the booing. I mean,
and this is Vegas, this is hometown.
Yes, and he is a vet. He's been around for a long time.
He's a seasoned, he's a two-time heavyweight.
Champion. Yes.
Show some respect.
Show some respect for the man. Something on short notice.
Dipping into just a few more topics before we go. I promise we'll make this quick. But we're just chilling. So.
Yeah.
Diaz, if you haven't heard yet, 3 days ago, Wednesday, hearing he got an entire year for marijuana metabolites. His appeal. As an American, I would like to think that if I have something to argue or dispute and you're accusing me of something, I'd like to be able to hire an attorney and appeal and not be punished for it. I feel like the Nevada State Athletic Commission punished him for appealing and dragging the
He got a year suspension, his terminated contract, and 30% person. When Overeem, 14-1, in other words, no drugs in the system, a 14-1 ratio.
Testosterone level, yeah.
Is you got 6 months.
6 months, yeah, we'll see.
So that is 6 months.
I'm pretty sure that'll be JDS's next guy. I mean, since originally it was supposed to be him anyway, he only got a 6-month suspension. You can use the train and come back and.
So what do you guys think? Do you think it's?
Yeah, comment down there. I mean, do you really think
that Diaz?
Are they biased towards Diaz? Do you think the Nevada State Athletic Commission really is biased towards Nick Diaz? Do you think that they treated him fairly? And do you think
just take the names away.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Take the names away. There's a lot of stigma attached to the name Diaz and Overeem as well. So some people call him Ubereem. I mean, the dude blew up from. I mean, he fought Chuck Liddell probably back in the day at 205. That guy, Jesus Christ, probably wakes up at 300 solid steel. So he says horse meat diet. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is huge.
Is that unfair? And next is
he got caught cheating. I'm red-handed, and it's not. It wasn't leftover marijuana metabolites from 8 or 10 days prior. It was. I'm obviously using steroids to try to enhance my performance and win a title, and he gets 6 months, and Diaz gets slapped with a year for some old weed.
Yes, weed smoking.
I mean, that's like riding in a car with your friend, and like they drop a bag with like a bag of pot with like a couple of seeds and some shake in it, and then you get pulled over. And fought for it, I mean, it's like he didn't fail anything, and she noted neither did Overeem. He didn't fail.
Right.
Overeem did not fail for any drugs. He just had an elevated testosterone level that was out of this world.
That leads me to another question I wanted to ask. Do you think when and if Nick comes back, will he still be the fighter he is today?
He was suspended. I mean, Nick was up here. He's obviously in his prime.
I think
another year. Ring rust is real. They did all the prime times and stuff and cameras in his face.
He has been around for a long, long time. He's been a champion in many organizations.
Well, the last time he fought for the Ultimate Fighter Championship, it wasn't so big.
Yeah.
There was no prime time for countdown.
He's not there for fame. He could care less about fans or people like him, he's there for a paycheck. He's good at it,
Well, he loves his friend.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Both guys love it. They just really honestly love it.
It saved their lives, which brings me to Nathan, who I had said a few months ago. I asked Gregory.
I thought she was crazy when she said, I mean, there's no way.
Surpassing him. Not in accolades or anything like that.
Yeah, we're not talking titles or legacies.
Skill set.
Is he more well-rounded, or is he getting more well-rounded?
Or
Nick? And at first I said no.
Yeah, he did say no a few months ago.
I said no. Or has he passed him already? His last 2 fights with Cerrone and Miller, he looked incredible. Every time he gets into the cage, he looks better and better and better. So he's getting scary good.
And now he's teaching.
I got a question for everybody. Do you think he's ready for? Obviously, Benson Henderson and Frankie Edgar, they're going to do it again. I don't see it happening a third time. I think this is going to put a stamp on who's going to be the champion, and Nate's got next.
Yes.
So, do you think Nate Diaz is ready for Benson Henderson or Frankie Edgar? Do you think that you think he could take the win from either one of them? You think he could take the belt from either one of them? And what's more important to me is if the person can defend the belt.
Yes. Do you
Nick
think
defended the belt several times.
Do you think that he is to defend this belt and hold on a title and represent the division? Or
the lightweight division, yeah, the 55 pounders. You know, we don't have Nick's little brother anymore, but we have
we have
a fully grown and he's his own man. He's not in Nick's shadow anymore. Nick did corner him and gave him some advice that he didn't even use.
Yeah.
So against Jim Miller, he said that no more clinching, and that's the way he did was go to the clinch, and that's where he felt comfortable. You know. He's his own fighter, and to me, I don't think he needs another fight. I don't think he needs to fight Pettis. I think he should wait. And he's got Cesar Gracie.
Some people out there might think that he might need to fight Pettis. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think? Do you really? I mean, Pettis is saying that he's been passed over so many times, which he has. He's really been fucking around. He was the last guy to beat Benson Henderson, so it'd be interesting to see Diaz and him fight. If Diaz
never doubt Diaz. I
never doubt Diaz.
Well, but again, one of their things that they always pride themselves on is that they go into the ring knowing that they did their best practicing technique, drilling.
His next thing is for saying, like, I don't want to put hands on my brother, but if it's going to make him better.
They practice at 100%. They practice at 100%.
They both spar and roll at 100%.
And on their camp,
he has
on his camp though.
Oh, he has all his camp. He has Richard Perez, his brother Nick, 3-time welterweight Strikeforce champion, the lightweight champion currently, the lightweight champion of Strikeforce, Thor Melendez, what's the 135 action?
A flyweight bantamweight.
No, man, bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey. In his camp, he's got a former middleweight champion, Jake Shields, in his camp. Josh Neer. Donald Cerrone was up there for his last fight.
Cerrone, thanks, Ethan.
Cody McKenzie and the McKenzie team. Remember I told you about flipping the wrist?
Yes.
Much more effective. John Jones is in the China is what we're talking about. About not actually just, the standard guillotine, but actually pushing the carotid arteries in. And it's Cody McKenzie. You saw if you're interested in the Ultimate Fighter, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. He was on Team GSP. He did it a lot, and I think he had like 9 out of 10 wins that were by he called it the McKenzie team. So he was up there.
But it's awesome that
and it seems like they come back twice the fighter that they were before. That place must be all business.
Yeah.
All fucking business up there.
And they're going out there to fight Cerrone and Neer. They go out there to fight, and they come back to Cerrone.
What's good about it is the diversity that everybody brings. I mean, you got Neer as a wrestler. You got Ronda Rousey as a judo player. You have Nick Diaz as a boxer and a jiu-jitsu guy. Cesar Gracie, he's a Gracie. And then you got Richard Perez that teaches some kind of wicked fucking boxing.
The best boxing
that confuse pretty much anyone that tries to outstrike. I think they finally perfected it, I mean, it hasn't failed either brother in quite some time.
Right.
If Nick would have laid it on Carlos, I think he would just play clown too much.
He wanted to carry that out, and it was just a shame.
It's nice that I got to touch on UFC on Fox 3 too. I'm really happy with that whole card. So, good job for me. I'm not sure what's next. There's no UFC on, or if it's just straight to UFC 147. But either which way, we'll be seeing you. And thank you for watching. I love every single one of you guys. I appreciate every single one of your views. And please like, comment, and if you'd like to subscribe.